可以用英文帮忙解释。要感谢那个朱建新也帮我做了那个美工和 animation， 谢谢他。我现在先问大家一个问题啊，你们知道中国在哪里吗？它在哪个大洲？
它在中国。
哪个州？哪个州？
都 Asia。
Asia 中文是怎么说知道吗
？A 狗。
亚洲。然后那个美国在哪个州知道吗？对，在哪个州呢 ？Continent。北美洲对吧 ？OK， 因为下面是南美洲。
Hey, that's not fair. You made this slide.
You made it.
OK， 然后大家知道中国有多少人吗
？14亿。
14亿 ，good。然后1.4 billion， right？ 大家知道全球有多少人吗 ？The whole globe。
7点多亿。12。
What? 12 people? 12 million?
No， 他们最近发现有很多。
Whoa, 7 point something billion.
No. Recently they discovered that they didn't account for rural areas.
8.2 billion.
What? No, they didn't account for rural areas, so now it's 12 billion.
No, it's not.
2 billion.
But the Earth
can
can
only hold 11 billion people.
OK，也许你是对的，我知道的是8.2 billion， 已经82亿。US population 我已经告诉大家了，345 million，right？ 所以那个，如果我们从地球上找100个人，有多少个人是中国人？17，right？ 然后多少是美国人呢？4 OK，alright，the answer 就会给the answer。OK， 然后OK 14亿，在我小时候的时候，那个我像你们这么大的时候是12亿，现在已经变多了，最后人口是82亿，对吧？所以这可能就是我 try to convince 朱建新学中文，就是你如果学会中文，你可以 talk to 17% of people。英文、美国、英国等等加起来可能还接近17吧。如果你两个都懂，你就可以 talk to like half of the population in the world。OK。下面我这个图可能下面有点小啊，但是
Jerry,
Hi,
be quiet.
OK。
You distracted.
大家知道那个中国历史有多长吗 ？How many years? 5,000. OK. With written history, maybe close to 4,000. 大家知道英国历史 with written history from England how many years?
0.
Zero? Seriously?
Actually, it's about 1,500 years. OK. 所以what's the question? OK， 所以这个 visualization 就告诉大家，我觉得那个4年级的时候可能有老师也跟大家介绍过是吧 ？The first dynasty, China. OK, let me start from right? Let's start from beginning. So this line, this is where Jesus Christ was born, right? So today we say 2025. That's because Jesus was born on year 1, and now it's 2,000 years past, right? So Chinese history has another 2,000 years before that. And the first dynasty is Xia, 400 years. Second Shang, 500 years. Zhou, very long, 800 years. Then Han, 400 years. Han is like 200 before Jesus was born, 200 after Jesus was born, right?
Yeah.
Then Roman Empire, the Roman, the biggest empire from the Western, that's about the same year as Han. Then you have Nanbei Chao, Northern Southern Dynasty, 300 years, Tang, 300 years. After that, like almost all the dynasties about 300 years, right? Song, Yuan only 200 years, like Mongolia guys, right? Then Ming, 300 years. Actually, in the middle of Ming, about 1492, that's the first time Christopher Columbus reached North America, right? So then finally Qing Dynasty, 300 years. So compare U.S. history. 1776, United States declared independence, right? It's only 300 years. If you count from Columbus, that's about like 500 years. But Chinese history is like 2,000 years. Yeah, you can even count even before, but there's no written history. The first time written Chinese show up is about in Shang area, on the turtle backs, right? 甲骨文
Oh my god.
turtle shells, right? Like written English started like 1,500 years ago. So about here. after the Roman Empire fell, England started to show up. So the English language you know about started here. Okay, so that's the in a big scale how things go. All right, so let's keep going. So this is last Saturday, 1 week ago, May 3rd, 2025. Do you guys know who this guy is?
No idea.
No.
This
Yeah,
is Warren Buffett.
Richest person.
He's
Who?
Warren Buffett.
Richest, bro. No one knows who that is.
Warren Buffett, he is the 5th richest guy on the world. His wealth
What's
is
his
about,
net worth?
what is what?
What's his net worth?
Net worth is $136 billion.
That's good.
Yeah, of course, Elon Musk nowadays with the Tesla stock going back is richer than him, but he's pretty rich, right? 96 years old. He just announced 1 week ago he will retire from his company, Berkshire.
Who will he give it to?
I mean, there's a new
Son.
CEO. He's still owner, but he will retire from CEO. Okay?
So who's that man over there?
Who is that? I'm
Son.
going there, right? So he basically hold an annual meeting. Every year, this company hold a meeting, right? Talk about why their company is so great, and people come here because he's so rich. People want to get advice, right? So this young man, he asked a question in that meeting. He said, "I'm from Shanghai, China. By the way, I'm also from Shanghai, China." Okay. So he asked a question about how do you deal with setbacks, right? Then Warren Buffett, of course, said, like live with setbacks, rebound everything. But what's interesting is he saw this guy is from China. Then he said, I don't know if you guys can read these Chinese, but basically his comment is, have you revealed Chinese history? 如果你可以选择 if you can choose, when would you like to be born? 就是在中国历史上，你希望你出生在哪个时代 ？Is it 1000 years ago? 1000年前 500 years ago or 100 years ago? 500年前还是100年前 ？Right? So that's his question.
None. 5,000.
Oh, no. Then no. His answer is definitely now, because now is definitely the best time, right? So let's see in the context of this question, where are we like 1000 years ago, 500 years ago, and 100 years ago? 1000 years ago, Song Dynasty, okay? Relatively stable.
Go
That's okay.
5,000.
5000 years ago, no one really knows what's going on. You guys
Oh,
probably
4,000.
4,000 years ago. Okay, yeah. I mean, you don't have written language. Later, I'll talk about this dynasty. Okay, then you can see how things like living there. 500 years ago is Ming Dynasty. Actually, that's around the time Columbus found America. China also had pretty good like big ships sail around the world. I'll show you. Okay, 100 years ago, that's the miserable time. So China is very like in a miserable state. So the answer is right now 最近的这个是最好的时代。Okay. Why is that? I'm trying to explain using this chart. Who knows what is GDP?
Oh.
Can say? 它基本
You
上就
mean
是
you should know.
国家赚钱的能力，就是 the capability a country can make money, right? So, but basically this chart is trying to show over so many years, right, from when Jesus is born to now, how this is the whole globe, 整个地球 the whole globe, how the countries, all the countries together, the capability to make money. So you can see very, very, very low for a long time, right? Until like very recently, 100 years ago, it started to take up, then shoot, it's like exponential growth, 增长非常快, right? 我们举个例子 For example, 1900, about 100 years ago, right? Global GDP is 3.4 trillion. We have 1.4 billion people around the globe. Every person in a year, on average, make $2,000. That's the capability that can make money. Okay, $2,000 in a year. Everybody average the whole globe. Now 100 years later, we have 170 trillion, 50 times more money making compared to 100 years ago, 8.2 billion, and every person makes $20,000. of course, you guys don't make money, right? So
Yeah, we
you are on the
You steal from our parents.
like denominator.
Kind of
Yeah, you are not on the denominator, right? But later when you grow up and like myself get old, you guys make money and we get paid by you. So, but anyway, so 100 years per person capability to make money 10 times. Okay, that's the kind of advance we have. So that's why Buffett says best time is now. Not only China, everybody. Best time is right now. Okay. Okay, so now let's so in terms of absolute wealth, 就是你绝对赚钱的能力 definitely now is the highest, right? But people care about comparison, relative, right? Actually, competition make us all like improve a little bit. So let's look at relative. So relative is, so you can see this is from like 1,000 years ago, right, to now. And this is percentage of global economy, relative economy. So you can see China, India used to be majority of the economy because 他们人口比较多, right? More population. But around 1850, 1900, this is called setback, right? Chinese economy tanked because everyone else, their economy boomed, especially United States start to boom. And of course, UK, Italy, France, all those Western countries become so strong, pushing India and China down, right? Western become dominating. But of course, in the recent few years, China start to come back. Okay, so that's the big picture. So remember that young man, right, asking Buffett, what do we do with setback? Buffett actually is trying to say, go back, look at China history. This is how China's answer to setbacks. Of course, you can push down, but eventually it will rebound, okay? Just keep trying. At least that's my interpretation, okay? Alright, so now let's zoom in a little bit more, okay? This is money-making capability by country. So let's zoom in the recent, let's say 400 years, take a closer look, okay? China, the red one, as we discussed, shrinked, then go back up, right? America come from nowhere, suddenly in a new continent, and it's contributing, look, 30% of the economy, right? While China used to be 30%, now, go down and come back. And what's interesting, you can see UK, right? UK is such a small country, and it also grow to a point pretty strong. Then of course America take over, right? So UK kind of shrink a little bit, and America is dominating. So my learning from this is, like, no country, nobody will be kind of always strong, right? You can be strong some point, but dynamics are changing. And look at what's going on. China definitely has become better and better, and the United States, of course, stable. But I think you guys are in the middle, right? You know China, you know US, you have connection, and these are the two major like countries in the world. And if you have connection to those, you have an advantage. Go ahead.
What is the brown?
Brown, which one? Indoma.
No, it's the non-Asian ancient civilization.
Oh, non-Asian civilizations, yeah. So look, Egypt, Turkey, Iran,
In Greece.
Greece, yeah, exactly. Okay, so those are, they have older history than China, but actually nowadays they're not significant, right, in the world economy. The only old Asian civilization still play a big role here is China, and the only very ancient language still dominated, used by many people in today's world is Chinese, right? Actually, talking about this civilization, I'll introduce some theory to you, okay? So, this is the globe, right? So do you know where the first human, or the people call it Homo sapien, come from?
Yeah, it's Africa.
Okay, everybody knows, right? So Africa here, right?
Yeah.
Then where do they go? They go out of Africa towards where?
They go China.
Yeah.
China, and we're to Europe.
Yeah.
And there's also a land bridge theory because there's ice on the.
Yeah, here, right?
Yeah.
Then it goes into America, right?
That's
Goes to
Native
Alaska.
Americans.
Yeah. So basically on this big migration created ancient civilization. So Africa people, first human, right, come here. This is Egypt, right? North Africa. Egypt, one of the earliest civilization with written language. Then here, this is Iraq. This is another Asian civilization, Babylon, right? Then they keep going, go to India, the third Asian civilization. Then they go to China. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4 oldest civilizations. Then of course Europe somewhere between, right? And eventually some of them go to America, India. So that's how this modern human evolved. But like looking at today, right? All these ancient civilization no longer playing important role. China still, okay? And the newest civilization, United States also. It's like oldest, newest are still playing important role in the world today. Okay. To me, it's amazing to see how this whole story pan out, and that's why I want to also share with you guys. Okay. So we were talking here, right? All right. See if we can get to next one. Okay. So now finally we get to the first dynasty of Xia. Let me check time. 郭老师现在还有多少时间？
没事，你继续讲。
OK。
讲完第一节课了可以。
OK， 行。So Xia dynasty, right? 4,000 years ago. So the white rooster is the current China. Xia started here, very small. Why? Because at that time transportation very weak. So you cannot have an empire control wide area of people in the land. Right, so Xia is so small. So if you want to learn, like what is Xia, simple language is 中国第一个王朝有了国王. Who can translate to English for this one? This is first dynasty with the first kings. Okay, and they don't have written language. So if they have written language, how do we know about them? So I'll show you. Okay, so Xia. Remember the first humans that they travel from Africa, India, all the way here. Why they choose to settle here? Because of this geography situation. Okay, so the brown one are mountains. The green one is plain where you have more food. So the ancient human they travel all the way here, and when they get off the mountain, this is Luoyang, right? Then they say, okay, great. This is a good place to settle down. So that's the first civilization start. Okay. So who knows what's this?
A river.
What's the river called?
Nile.
No,
No.
what? We're talking about China right now.
Huanghe, right? Yeah, Huanghe. So Huanghe is like a ji, right, in Chinese. So Luoyang is right here. So after this stroke, Luoyang is right here. And if you zoom in that place, that's where the Xia dynasty started, right? So look, this is Luohe, another river next to Huanghe, right? And a small river called Yihe, another small river. So it's like while these two rivers meet, this little place is the first Xia dynasty palace was built. Okay, and so Luohe basically this is the river, right? So today people dig, and they find out some ancient evidence. There used to be a palace here, and they try to revisualize how the palace would look like. Looks like it has like some walls, some buildings in between, and another building here. So we don't have written language at that time, but people think this is the first capital of Xia. Okay, so that's the Xia, and that place today is called Arlitou, with a 2-mile head. A very weird name, but actually that's where the Xia palace is coming from. Okay. All right. So maybe today let's cover Shang also, right? Shang dynasty is 500 years, right after Xia. So the territory you see is a little bit bigger, right? And the character is they use Qingtong bronze as tools. and they can write on the turtle shells. So do you know why bronze show up first than iron?
No, they
Because
didn't find
bronze
it.
is easier to get.
No, they didn't find iron yet. Iron, you gotta dig into the ground.
Yeah, it's easier. Bronze is easier to get.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's what I said.
yeah, it's similar. The bronze, it's easier to get, also easier to melt. You don't need to make it very hard to melt bronze. Then you can start to use bronze to make tools. Iron, you need to have some special techniques, raise the temperature, then you can melt it and build tools. Actually, iron was first discovered or used by someone living in today's Turkey. And they hide the secret for 300 years. No one else can make iron, only they can. Okay? Then until that empire break down, then the technique of making iron spread out. Then even China, everyone knows how to use iron. But that country hide the secret for 300 years. So, okay. So this is an interesting character. So in Shang Dynasty, there's a very famous queen. So but I use AI to generate this picture, right? So her name is Fu Hao. And do you know what's this?
Accent.
Yeah, there's an axis found in her tomb. And according to what's written around it, these are the weapons used by this queen when she was alive. Okay? That's why I visualize this ancient Shang queen using two axes. Okay? And she's a good military leader. She fight wars riding 马车 driven by 6 horses. And he fight all these other people, aggressive people around the Shang dynasty. Okay? So Fu Hao. Who knows what's this? Guess.
It's a ring.
Yeah, it is a ring. So why this ring?
And shake them.
Yeah, what does it do?
Bow.
Yeah,
Draw
so
bowstring?
yeah, draw bowstring. Okay,
Draw
I gave up the answer. Yeah. So basically, when we try to shoot, right, your finger is fragile, but you need something relatively solid, right, to be able to draw the string many times without hurting your finger. That's what she used by this queen. Okay, found in her tomb. Okay. And this piece of this is the earliest Chinese language character, right? 甲骨文 written on turtle shell. So who knows what does it say? Okay, I already said it. So basically saying 富好牙痛好了嘛 basically remember at that time the king of Shang, whenever he doesn't know anything, he need to ask the god, right? Or tell me about it. So he cares about his queen a lot, and he basically asking God in this piece of turtle shell, has my queen's toothache gotten better? So it's very interesting. So there are about 3,000 pieces of 甲骨文, basically a language written on the turtle shell in total. And out of that, 200 is about that king. King is called Wu Ding. Wu Ding asking the god about something about the queen. So basically people say these are the earliest love letter between the king and queen ever exist, and interesting. Okay, I guess today I pause here. I have interesting story from Joe all the way later, but maybe we find another time to share. Alright, thank you.
Okay.
Any questions, let me know.
How do people